They've added a ton of stuff to the cat lady's house. The Dead Coconut Club's theme is gonna be like a security, Fazbear entertainment. How the Legions of Horror is returning to HHN. Okay guys, you're back at Universal Studios Florida. It's time for another massive Halloween Horror Nights update. We're gonna be talking about the Poltergeist house coming to HHN. We're gonna be talking about Megan returning for the Terror Tramp. We have massive construction updates. We're also gonna be talking about, if you're a hardcore HHN fan, the Legions of Horror returning for Horror Unleashed. Guys, we're almost 600 subscribers away from the next unveiling of the HHN artifact. If you didn't know, we're so close to kind of like dethroning the official HHN YouTube channel. Half of you guys currently are not subscribed who watch the videos. We have a little challenge now. If we hit 76,000, we're gonna have a reward to show you guys, 78,000 and then 80,000. So I own one of the largest HHN collections in the world. So I'm gonna reveal like a jaw-dropping artifact to you guys, every single one of those tiers that we hit. Like your mind is gonna be blown. I promise it'll be worth the wait, but we got this. On that note, it's time to talk about the Halloween Horror Nights Sure of the Day. We're gonna go back to Halloween Horror Nights 23, right? This is the year they brought Resident Evil as a house. So on that note, let's show off the commercial. Okay, welcome back. Let's head in. It's a big day. It is a massive day for HHN updates. Before we know it, they're gonna have the giant medallion right there. One of you guys wanted me to make a video kind of talk about the different medallions through the years on the archway. So I'm gonna try to track them all down and talk about them maybe in a couple weeks. All right, so this truss work popped up yesterday. Is this unit new, or does this power the giant coolers for the team members? That might be what that is. Let's head in, show off all the fun construction updates. Oh, they did it. This is a sign. It's gonna be a good year. As you know, the truss work last year, the only bit of detailing they did was 2 pieces of cloth. They actually have decorations around the base of the truss. All right, so here's the truss, and then here's the new decorative elements around the base of them. So it looks like kind of that aged stonework. They're gonna touch it up a little bit, but this looks great. So yeah, so scare actors can hide in here, pop out, gives them more options in the scare zone, because last year they just had nothing to do. There's nowhere to hide. They couldn't do anything because there was no scare zone. So these 2 pieces got added, and then also these 2 pieces got added right over there. Is this confirming that Grimace is going to be part of this scare zone? So this got added overnight, just like that. Okay, so now let's talk about Poltergeist returning as a house. Here's the little announcement about it. All right, so Universal Studios Hollywood announced that Poltergeist is coming only to Universal Studios Hollywood. The haunted house announcement. Restless spirits have overrun the infamous house atop a cemetery from the classic film. They'll snatch you from this world. Don't get lost in the light. That got announced, and then also the Terror Tram got announced with Blumhouse again. And then for the Terror Tram, it said, the most terrifying Blumhouse villains of the past 15 years are taken over. Face the Grabber, Beyond the Grave, a lethal Megan, and more. There's at least a teaser.
At Universal Halloween Horror Nights, featuring Terror Tram, Enter the Blumhouse, and more.
A little later in the video, Murdy does a deep dive into all the stuff, answers a bunch of questions about the houses and the Terror Tram. So we'll be talking about that in a second, but I want to see the construction updates first. All right, so some slight changes to the gate. They added the flowers right up there. As you know, they put those on the stages yesterday, and they kind of blow in the wind just a little bit, but the flowers are right there. And then also on the other side, they have added the flowers on the gate. So these are gonna blow in the wind, be a little creepy. And then not too much has changed over here on this stage. Still have, you know, the victim or something tarped up. They added the vines and the flowers yesterday. Over here, they added some more moss last night. So we had the flowers that were added, and then we have also the moss on the stage. Pop into 5 and Dime, see if they've restocked the Wyatt 6 shirts. The event merchandise has dropped. $35 for, I don't know what style shirt this is. There's this weird little thing. See if there's anything on the back. Nothing on the back, but it's pretty see-through. So $35, you got the stained glass design. $25 for the new photo frame. There's gonna be a little peg right there, so you can put it right there so it can stand up on its own. But it's got the gargoyle all over it. $16, I'm actually digging this pin. You got one of the gargoyles, there's like a little jewel in his eye, and then the stained glass piece. $35 for the short sleeve shirt. Again, I'm digging the design with the gargoyle right there. There's like some little mini gargoyles up there, but then the massive one that we'll probably see inside the scare zone right there. And I love that we got like the raven with the eyeball, and then even like blood is coming out of their mouths. $18 for some Five Nights at Freddy's patches. So you're gonna have the whole squad right there, peel and stick or sew on patches. $20 for this badge reel. This might be one of the best badge reels ever made. So it says Freddy Fazbear's right there, but look at this. This thing is solid. This is like an actual like police badge, but security, Fazbear, entertainment, and then it'll be Five Nights at Freddy's. $37 for this kind of acid wash vintage. It's distress around right there, but it says Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place, and it's got all the different animatronics on it. And then on the back, it'll say Halloween Horror Nights 2025. $20, we got the Mel's Die-In Snow Globe. This thing is so good. So it's double-sided. So it says, we're dying to serve you. You're gonna have the grotesque food items right there, but then on the back, you're gonna have Mel's Die-In. This is great. Again, this Mel's merch is great. $12 for a button set. You're gonna have one of the head, a jukebox, the milkshake, and the Mel's Die-In. I wonder what food items will have at Mel's specialty for the event. We got a new Wyatt 6 shirt. This thing is awesome. I do wish it was a short sleeve. It's a long sleeve though. You're looking at $40. So you're gonna have everyone right there. Let Me In, Halloween Horror Nights 2025. Then on the back, they're gonna have the Wyatt 6 and the WWE logo on the back of it. Great design. Thing looks so good. We got a bunch of new Jaws merch over here. So they have a tank top, $45. It'll say Jaws, and then on the front, it'll say Amity Island Lifeguard. So it's like a lifeguard tank top that you can pick up. There's another shirt over here. This is gonna be $49. So you're gonna have this different kind of pop art design of Bruce on the poster, but it's all kind of like scratched up. Because you're gonna start washing this thing, it's gonna start tearing. And then on the back, you'll have the artist logo. $59, we're gonna have a long sleeve. You're gonna have that logo of Bruce. And then on the back, the same kind of pop art design. Then on the sleeves, there's like some bubbles. $59, they're gonna have the Jaws button up. It'll say beaches closed, help, shark attack. Okay, $30, this is a 10 out of 10 hat design. This is made to look like Quint's hat that he wears, and they also kind of stitched in his chalkboard art. They did a really good job with that. And then $49 for this ringer tee. It'll say Jaws on it, and it's like a black and white version of the classic poster. Great merch line. The merch has been pretty solid. The stage, they've added a couple little more details for the gargoyle stage. They had kind of the moss work around it. You know, we saw the flowers pop up, and then it rained a little bit, so the glasses have a little bit of water in it. Holy vine work. The vines have truly taken over. So they have all the vines going all over the pedestal, the twig work, the vine work. It is everywhere. They also added the tall grass over here going up the stage. Now these again are real vines that they're running over. It's gonna be interesting what happens with the Florida climate, with the rain, and how much this stuff grows and actually takes over the sets. Because over the next couple of months, these actual vines are truly gonna take over the sets, and these sets are gonna change and look more covered. But yeah, the vine work is everywhere now. All over the stage. It's looking beautiful. They've hidden the fog machine back here behind the tall grass, so it's going to shoot out this direction, but they continued the twigs and the tall grass around. So the tall grass over here is kind of hiding that square box. We don't know what it's going to be plugged into yet, but again, the vines are just everywhere. Looks great. So again, every update, they always add stuff to these stages. Okay, I guess it wasn't time to put new stuff out in the HHN bar area, but you know what? It is time for... I think it's John Murdy right there. John! So John said this: we're also announcing the return of poltergeists, scare zones, etc. today, so I'll try to keep you updated while racing around the property to get HHN up and running. Filmed 3 behind the scenes episodes yesterday that'll be released prior to HHN opening. Busy, busy, busy. Can we also get the Starway voice back too, please? I miss the Starway telling guests if they sit, it'll chew their ass up. John said, that was me. They bumped me. Will the fire towers return this year? John says yes. We just redid the whole system. No Universal Monsters Incorporation this year? Or did I miss an announcement? John says, no, you didn't miss it. Taking a break after 6 straight years of houses. Plus, Universal Monsters has a huge presence this year at Epic in Orlando and Horror Unleashed in Vegas. Will Poltergeist be the exact same 2018 version, or will there be new scenes and upgrades? John said, there's a couple of changes I wanted to make. So that means it's pretty much the exact same house. Fans don't like new Jason's design, not your fault. And the tram is a fail, your fault. Otherwise, it's looking good. John says, you'll see lots of different Jasons, and there's some surprises on tram that are not shown in the key art. Was that all for this year, or was there more announcements to expect? John says, oh, there might be a surprise or two. Why Blumhouse again? John says, it's their 15th anniversary, but there is new content in addition to what you see in the key art. Shh, keep that secret. Will there be the same type of RIP experience like last year? John says, new content, but yes, on tram. More to come on the rest. We're heading off the 9 Crooked Lane right now. If you remember a couple videos ago, we talked about that crappy Jack mask that is being sold. There's another Halloween Horror Nights mask that's also gonna be sold. Okay, so here it is. The Ruby's Men's Halloween Horror Nights, the Tooth Fairy overhead latex mask, one size fits all. So you can buy a mask based on the design from the Tooth Fairy house. I don't know who wants that mask. Out of all the variety of monsters, that's not like a legendary mask design. I ended 9 Crooked Lane we go. It still looks like the rest of the pumpkins have not been plugged in yet. These lights are on though. I guess they were testing those lights during the nighttime. And we saw them yesterday adding some of the more milk bottles. So there's some milk there. And then this is the one that we saw them adding, the milk bottle right over here by this pumpkin. Just looks gnarly. They've added a ton of stuff to the cat lady's house. Let's head over here first, see if they've added any more details. You know, we got to say hello to the giant human-sized hairball right there. It's looking about the same, but again, these vines, because they're natural vines, they're going to grow over everything, and it's going to kind of take over the entire little zone. Let's go over all the new details that got added for the house. So over here, this is going to be a speaker box, it looks like, that's appeared. The speakers would be faced this way. Maybe there's a subwoofer down there. What the heck is that? Ew, that's like another little hairball down there. But they added this the other day. So a show scene is going to happen, and then we'll have the speakers here playing the audio for whatever happens. There's also little props that got added around the house. This creepy little doll head. Terrifying. We got the stairs. Let's come down here. The weird #1 foam finger, a jacket, and then we got a CD player, gas cans, creepy little clown dolls, some golf clubs, and then we got a little jack-o'-lantern pail. We got a bike, another barrel with a backpack, some more little barrels here, a pumpkin that's popped up on the porch, little cat decorations, a snorkel and some little flippers, some more gas cans. Here's like some sort of blanket or shawl. Is this a lobster net? A gas can, roller skates, an old school helmet. Nothing's changed with the cauldron yet, but I'm guessing they're going to keep adding more and more props on the house. This set is just beautiful. Gonna come over here. There's another set of speakers that'll be playing audio, probably a subwoofer. I don't think it's hooked up yet. I do see some electrical over here. Yeah, okay. So the speakers have now been turned on. If you follow the cable right along here, it gets wound up to right there. There's now wires running from the speakers to over there. See how the inside looks now. Again, the inside's looking pretty good. Let's loop around. Oh, they've run the electrical cables now here to the house. The cords are going into the house right there. We'll go track these down in a second. I want to finish the loop around the house, see what other details that they've added. That might be about it. The coming days we'll get more props added to this house. So let's track down where these wires are going. So they're going up here. They're going right there. They're cutting through the bushes. They're looping around. Do you see them over there? They're going to keep continuing. The wire's going to go all the way down there. So let's loop around over there and see where it goes. But this house is all powered up now. So here, the cords are all going to right here, to this box. This box popped up. And then if you remember, we followed these cords going all the way up and over and all the way over there. But now the cords are running to this box. A little update on the Hatchet and Chains house. They've started to add some foliage around the front of the porch. See if we can get a better angle of the stuff. If you see, they've added like a cow skull right there. We're gonna have, that's the well. And then next to the trees, they've added a little cart, it looks like, with some flowers. So yeah, they're still adding stuff to the Hatchet and Chains house. They were working on the bridge a little bit last night. You can see they were cutting some of the wood. Looks like there's a saw over there. But it's gonna be wild when you guys actually walk across this bridge. You've watched the entire renovation process of it over the course of like a month. You can hear them still working on the Amity bathrooms. I have no idea why it took this long. When is this thing gonna open? This is where the rumored tribute store is gonna be. they've added some crates out here. So you know we saw that image of the Poseidon statue being shipped in this same alleyway. So I'm guessing we're gonna get props out here with stuff for the tribute store that we're going to be seeing. Our first little additive for the heavily rumored tribute store. All right, let's pop in the Mummy gift shop. It's gone. The trident's gone. If you remember a couple of days ago, we were literally talking about Poseidon's trident, the Easter egg right there. It's gone. So as you know, there was the rumor of the Poseidon statue. His trident's now gone. So it looks like the trident's going to be with the Poseidon statue, but it was there a couple days ago. Now it's gone. So something's happened. Again, we have the crates in the alleyway now. You can hear them working in there. What is happening for this heavily rumored tribute store? See if they've changed or added anything. It's looking about the exact same from how it looked yesterday. A second set of stairs did pop up. There were stairs here a couple days ago. Now they've added stairs for the performer to enter right there. See if there's any changes with the Fallout food booth. Nothing yet. For the Firefly Funhouse, they did add some curtains, which look exactly like the curtains from the actual set. You know, they have the door and everything, but the curtains also got added. Still missing a sign that'll pop up and looks like it'll probably illuminate. Who remembers when HHN food booths were just like tents? And then they like started to add like little bits of facade on it. And then now we got like full-on storytelling, immersive food booths. Oh, this looks just like the movie. This is great. All right, so this is gonna be the Terrifier food booth. It's the Clown Cafe. This would be from Terrifier 2. Probably one of the most famous scenes in the entire trilogy right now. But it looks like the Clown Cafe lights will illuminate. And then here's a better shot from the side. All the food booths are looking great so far. They're gonna keep adding more details. We have no idea what the food options are though for this year. I'm guessing probably a week or a week and a half before the event starts, then they'll start dropping the food menus. All right, let's see what's changed over here. It does look like they've added these in front of all the little windows. These popped up. There's one there, there's one there. They've popped up on all the windows. Let's check over here. Yep, there's gonna be one right there, and then one right there, and then one right there, and then also one right there. So each window got a new little decorative piece. They have gotten some new How to Train Your Dragon plushies that popped up. $20 for this little dragon, and then also $20 for this dragon plush. This month, I'm just so pumped. I'm just so excited every day to wake up to new little details. All right, we're at CityWalk now. Time for the daily dirt update. They've finished the construction wall additives with the CityWalk pictures, and they're working right now. You can see they're still planting the pipes. Everybody's out in full force right now. The weather is somewhat nice. In a couple hours, that'll change. I'm trying to get as much work done as possible right now. So we've made it over by the Red Coconut Club now. They put up the truss works a couple weeks ago, but now they have all the lights set up. You got 8 lights on this T truss work, and the same thing over here. There's gonna be 8 lights on this truss work, so it'll be illuminating the Coconut Club. Now the Coconut Club is returning for the HHN time, so it'll be the Dead Coconut Club. So what's gonna be the theme of the Dead Coconut Club this year? It's heavily rumored that the Dead Coconut Club's theme is gonna be like a witch theme. They do have signs up here on the door where it says July 27th through August 29th, stop, closed due to construction. So no standard team members are coming through there. This is all fenced off right now, but let's see if we can see inside at all, or do they tint out the windows? So that's rumored to be the theme for the Dead Coconut Club this year. I'm excited to try the new drinks, see the, you know, different performers that pop up within there, and hopefully Bitter's Boy doesn't make too many of the drinks. Time to head into the Super Nintendo World store and go over the next round of merchandise. All right, let's go over the Boo section today. So for $30, we're gonna have the Boo headband. They're gonna have a little kid shirt. You're looking at $25 for the Super Nintendo World little kid shirt. $60 for this Boo white hoodie. There's no design on the back, besides a little Boo right down there. $35 for the Boo hat. You'll have his little hands right there, which is a nice little touch. On the back, Boo will also be stitched into the back of the hat. Now for $35, they're gonna have the black adult shirt version with this design with Boo on it. $35 for this Boo beret. It's like a hat. So it's reversible. So this is one version. If you reverse it, it looks like that. For this reusable Super Nintendo World Boo bag. There's nothing on the back. I honestly don't think that's worth $30. I think it's probably worth about $5.99. And on that note, that's another section complete. All right, guys, let's go back to the office and talk about how the Legions of Horror is returning to HHN. Okay guys, we're back in the office, so now let's talk about how the Legions of Horror is returning to HHN. Now most of you guys might not even know what the Legions of Horror is. Let's do a quick little rundown about why this is important. Universal released this video about the Legions of Horror, so let's show that off real quick.
Hi, I'm Laura Wallace, show director for Halloween Horror Nights here at Universal Orlando. This year we feature an all-new street experience. There are no boundaries, no safe zones, and no one escapes. We feature 5 Legions of Horror. Our first Legion of Horror are the vampires. They span all eras of time and are from all over the world. These vampires have come to Halloween Horror Nights 22 to feast on our guests. Our next legion are the Dragon Warriors. This gang of men carry big swords and are ready to maim anybody that stands in their way. Our next legion is a first time ever. This is a group of women. They've been imprisoned too long and we are putting chainsaws in their hands. They're coming for you. Our next legion are the Beasts. These are half men, half animal, intimidating creatures roaming the streets of Halloween Horror Nights. Traditionals. Anything you can think of steeped in the Halloween tradition, from trick-or-treaters to witches to goblins, you could encounter anywhere. With these 5 legions of horror ripping through the streets of Universal Studios are mausoleums and crypts. With them come the iniquitous. These creatures are the root of all evil. They're the masters of all horror. And here's your first look at them.
Now we could do an entire series just about the different legions of horror and their crazy backstories and how it all kind of interconnects. Okay, so we're gonna go back to 2012. Universal would decide to only have one scare zone that was spread across the entire park. It would be the first time in Halloween Horror Nights Orlando history in which scare actors were able to attack guests in unlimited areas throughout the park, including gift shops, house queue areas, and restaurants. The scare zone would be themed to the legions of horror. 7 different legions featured on the website of the event. It would be split into 7 different sections that would roam around the park. So the traditionals were the Morphins, the vampires were the Strangoids, and the beasts were the Cerebin. The walkers were the Karazhan, the prisoners were the Mashorians, the warriors were the Bacanoids. Now, we haven't seen these symbols in a hot minute. We haven't seen it since the Case Files house. If you remember, Boris Schuster kind of wrote those books, and then Tim Foyle was kind of uncovering where these totems were. So within each one of those books that Boris wrote was one of the Legions of Horror totems. Now those totems were kind of based on a website game back in the day for the Legions of Horror. So each one of those totems is represented. Tin Foil, right, collects all the totems, and then at the end of it, he kind of opens the gateway to hell. So that's the last time you saw the Legions of Horror logos, was like in the gateway to hell. What is this logo? This is gonna be the Strangoids. So Five Fires posted a video about Horror Unleashed, and we see the symbol pop up. When you're looking at Five Fires footage, you can see the Strangoid symbol on kind of the bodyguard. And then when you actually look at kind of the queen vampire, you'll see on her tiara, you're gonna see the Strangoid logo. And then also on the costume, you will see the Strangoid logo throughout the entire costume. So wonderful attention to detail in that costume. So this is like big news for Halloween Horror Nights fans. So we know the Legendary Truth is popping up in Horror Unleashed, and now we know the Legions of Horror is gonna be inside Horror Unleashed. They're kind of connected now. So I'm interested to kind of uncover the backstories inside Horror Unleashed, talk to the characters, see what's going on with the storylines, who's here, who's not, what's going on. I'm excited, right? Horror Unleashed is in a couple days. We're gonna be there to experience everything. So guys, we've another HHN update coming out tomorrow. So on that note, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and join the family.
I love the family!
Because I'm gonna keep you up to date on all things Universal Studios and Halloween Horror Nights around the country. I love you all, and I'll see y'all very soon.
First Legion of Horror.
How the Legions of Hooterate is returning